It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the two films of March 8th, 2002. Not that much to look at here, but two notable films here, so let's go ahead and jump right to it. And we'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, the second adaptation of film adaptation, I should say, of H.G. Wells' classic novel, The Time Machine. So as I said, this is based off of H.G. Wells' classic novel, where you have scientist and inventor Alexander Hartigan, played by Guy Pearce. Is it Guy? Okay, this Guy Pearce. I thought for a second it was Guy Ritchie, but no, it's Guy Pearce. He's determined to prove that time travel is possible. His determination is turned to desperation from a personal tragedy that now drives him wanting to change the past. Testing his theories with the time machine and his own invention, Hartigan is hurtled 800,000 years into the future, where he discovers that mankind has divided into the hunter and the hunted. And there is so much potential in this movie, but the film, if you've seen the movie, it gets pretty ridiculous pretty damn quick. Let's talk about that personal tragedy, because in the beginning of the movie, Guy Pearce's character gets engaged to Sienna Guillory, who you may know from the second Resident Evil movie. But so she gets shot the first time around, and so he basically decides, I'm going to do this with a time machine. I'm going to build a time machine, go back in time, and save her. And she does save her, but then as soon as she saves her, she literally gets run over by a horse. And it's supposed to be this dramatic moment, but I'm sorry, if you watch the clip in this movie where she gets run over by the horse, it is done so hilariously bad. I could not believe it. Like, I've watched this. The first time I ever saw this was actually when Film Brain did Bad Movie Beatdown's review of this, and he showed that scene. I thought, no, there's no way that could be a real scene. But nope, a scene that's supposed to be so tragic and so just downright depressing, he gets killed. It becomes extremely hilarious when you realize that this woman just died, and we just showed her a dummy literally falling to the ground. And, like, how can you not laugh at that? And the funny thing about it is that the problems with this movie can be seen right from the get-go, because shortly after that, Alexander realizes that every time he tries to save Emma, it will result in her death through other circumstances. Let me point out here that in this movie, he's only done it one other time. So, you know, it would be nice if we got to see the many times that he did try to do it, you know, if he tried to do it more than once. But no, they show it happening one time, and we're supposed to just accept that no matter what happens, she's going to die no matter what. And, yeah. Let that be the tone for the rest of the movie, because, man, this movie likes to change the plot whenever it needs to, because it just has to, because this movie is one of those films where, yeah, Simon Wells, who you know mostly as an animation director, he's done a lot of stuff for, you know, An American Tail 5 Goes West, We're Back at Dinosaur Story, Balto, The Prince of Egypt, great animation director. His last film he directed was Mars Needs Moms, which I don't want to say it's his fault completely, because that was just a movie that was just dead on arrival, but ever since The Prince of Egypt, he fell off big time, and it's a shame, because the guy does have a lot of good animation credits to his name, and I think they only got him because he's the great-grandson of H.G. Wells. If I remember correctly, that's what I read. But yeah, the movie just gets out of hand really quickly, and because of this, because Simon Wells had never attempted live action before, he was basically suffering from extreme exhaustion, and Gore Verbinski had to come in and actually finish the last couple days of shooting, which basically puts I know I keep saying basically, someone got on me for saying that, but I'm sorry, man, this is off-the-cuff stuff, and I have to say that to talk about what I'm doing here. Yeah, I say it a lot, but yeah, that's just kind of my thing. I've been trying to hold it down for a little bit, but as you can see, it's just kind of off-the-cuff stuff here. But so Gore Verbinski had to come in and finish the movie, and because of that, the tone of the movie changes in the final 30 minutes of the movie. It goes from being a science fiction film to an action movie, and Guy Pearce's character essentially becomes an action hero in this for no reason whatsoever. And the way the movie changes what the time machine could do, you know, what the time machine is capable of to fix this plot change they have going on here, it just ruins the ebb and flow of the movie big time. But And the film itself is just a mess on so many levels. Now, that's not to say that everything about this movie is bad. There are some brief flashes of promise here. Like, you have Jeremy Irons as the Morlock with some pretty good makeup work. I gotta say, the makeup work on him was actually really good for what they were trying to accomplish here. And he's really the best actor in the movie because he has some of the strongest lines in the film. But then by the end, he's just the generic bad guy. And, like, the ways the time machine works makes no sense whatsoever. For example, they have this big climax of the movie where Guy Pearce has to turn on the time machine, and Jeremy Irons is strangling him a la Bart Simpson. And keep in mind that his hands are inside the time machine, and they establish that this time machine should be working at that point. And he should be falling, and Jeremy Irons' character should be falling to the ground. And basically, like, there I go again, but essentially what happens here is that he turns on the time machine. Jeremy Irons' character just completely dies because time is moving so fast, but his hands are still inside the time machine. It's just like it just makes no sense how this world works, and quite frankly, it doesn't feel like it wants to make any sense whatsoever. It's just kind of like, we're just going to do what we want here because we want to make an action movie here. And really, the directors they had for this, they had Steven Spielberg at one point attached to this, who could probably make this work. They had Brad Sirberling do this, who was a decent director on some movies, Casper, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, but he left over creative differences. I mean, the possibility is there, but unfortunately, this movie really fails because it didn't know what kind of a tone it wants to set. And when you bring in Gore Verbinski to direct the second half of the final 30 minutes of the movie, it really does show how the film basically just falls apart from what it was trying to accomplish from the beginning. And it's a movie that really, I've come to realize that this film could have been so much better than it had any right to be, but it just doesn't. And unfortunately, I don't think anybody's really ever going to touch this again and try to redo this story the right way. Like, it's like if you get the right people involved and follow the story that H.G. Wells was trying to tell, you could have something really interesting here. But I think people are steering away from it because of how bad this movie turned out to be. And the end result of it is a mess of a film. So much potential really could have gone into it, but it doesn't know what kind of a tone it wants to set. It changes the tone towards the end of the movie when you bring in another director, and it just basically falls apart right from the get-go, and just like you have nothing really to look forward to when it's all said and done. And it's just, yeah, at times there are flashes of promise, but never enough for me to say that this is something you should check out. It's a major letdown on so many levels, and yeah, it's just not a good movie, unfortunately. So yeah, that's The Time Machine for you. Should have been so much better, but it just isn't. So let's see if we can turn the tide around with our last film we have here, and that is Ice Cube and Mike Epps in their first two pairings of 2020, the first of two pairings of 2002, and that is, of course, All About the Benjamins. So in this movie, Ice Cube plays bounty hunter Buckham Jackson. Literally, his name, the literal spelling is B-U-C-U-M, which it surprises me that they didn't go the route that I thought they were going to with that joke. But what a weird name, Buckham Jackson. But he teams up with this small-time con artist played by Mike Epps named Reggie Wright that he is pursuing an attempt to locate a missing stash of diamonds and a lottery ticket worth millions of dollars. So Buckham and Reggie find themselves in the race to the finish as they embark on an unlikely partnership that should, when it's all said and done, prove beneficial to them both. And it's pretty clear what they're trying to, parody. Not even parody, but, try to do here. It's supposed to be another Lethal Weapon. Excuse me, but more importantly, it's supposed to be kind of like a new Bad Boys. I mean, Bad Boys 2 was right around the corner. Ice Cube and Mike Epps worked well off each other next Friday, and they were going to be in the final film of the Friday series, Friday After Next. But, yeah, this is a pretty lame movie, and I didn't even show you the second trailer for this, which makes this movie even look stupider than this trailer does. These two old grannies, like who was this movie made for? I mean, it's not. It's like it feels like a film that is trying to be universal appealing to everybody, not just a specific target audience. It felt like a film that just really really did not know who it was trying to target, and when they were trying to do what they were trying to do, the film just didn't really turn out the way they wanted to. And it's a shame, because Mike Epps and Ice Cube have a lot of good chemistry together, and they're just shown in their movies that they've done before. Like the Friday movies are a great example of the good chemistry they have together. Lottery Ticket is an example. Well, they're both in that movie. Jakey Promoters, which is a film that I talked in the past about how I wanted to do a video talking about that one, thinking it was one of those movies that's just like, it's going to be one of those ones where it's going to be one of those so bad it's good movies. It's just not a good movie, period. It's just kind of like, and there wasn't really a whole lot there for me to really get behind. Like, I heard the idea about that movie was that they completed the movie without Ice Cube ever knowing about it, and they were going to do like this big push, but never told Ice Cube that it was just going to go straight to video. And I thought that was going to lead to a potentially really interesting video reacting to that movie. But when I finally watched the movie, there really wasn't enough there for me to get the stuff that I wanted to really get from it. And yeah, so that's why I never did that video, by the way. But this movie in particular, it's like, I got what they were trying to do, but the writing here is not really all that strong. It's a very lazily put together movie, and it's clear that they're trying to copy the Bad Boys formula, the Lethal Weapon formula. You know, they make the joke about, what am I, Mel Gibson? It's just like, it's basically like two young Danny Glovers working together, and that could be funny if you had a good script to work off of, but it just didn't work here. And I like Ice Cube, I like Mike Epps, I like seeing them in movies together, but this is one of those movies where, as much as I like to seeing them together again, the movie itself just really wasn't worth it in the end. And this one's become largely forgettable, even though Shout Factory just put out a deep Blu-ray of it not too long ago. But other than that, though, like, it's not really worth it when it's all said and done. Ice Cube and Mike Epps have been in so much better movies. Watch those movies. Avoid this one like the plague. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and next time we have 4 movies to look at, including Blue Sky Studios' first animated feature, and that is Ice Age. 20th Century Fox trying to get into the game that Disney, Pixar, and Paramount were essentially putting themselves in, and DreamWorks as well. I should have mentioned them too. And we have our Mila Jovovich in the first Resident Evil film, Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro, the pairing that you always wish that you could see, Showtime. And we have Kissing Jessica Stein featuring a madman in the making, and John Hamm is one of the stars of it. And we'll take a look at those 4 movies on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.